Are we up? Are we up right now?
Yeah, we're up right now. I don't know what happened. I clicked away, I came back, and suddenly we were live.
Four people
can see you, Judd.
It's so dramatic. Dramatic music intensifies.
I love that so
much. Will I throw this up in a dramatic moment of the game? Yes. Yes, I will. Yes. Yes.
Our energy is so chaotic tonight.
It's good. It's all right. I'm digging it.
It's Friday night.
Hey, we have to have another version where like all sound disappears, right? Like that old school Lord of the Rings. Like, right to think for another episode. Yeah.
Share the load.
Ray is gonna be like rocking out with like a really dramatic thing, and I'm just gonna wait a minute. Where is it? How do I do it? I put Ray there. How do I get Ray up there?
Sean,
anyway.
If you want, you click on the little head next to in the thing.
All right, we're killing it. Hey, this is Actual Play. We are back with Northern Death Gods or Northern Death Pantheon, depending on what day of the week it is. My name is Judd. All money that we get through subscriptions and bribery and dramatic music intensifying goes to Black Lives Matter and the Trans Legal Defense Fund, because if our fun gaming can somehow in some small way make the world a better place, that is awesome. I am here with dear friends who are always lovely to see, even when we get together and we end up not gaming. It's always just like, oh, that was a good day. I got to see their faces. That's awesome. Sean, I'll start with you. How are you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing all right. I'm Sean Nittner. I see him pronouns. Let's see. We just launched the preview for the Improv for Gamers Second Edition.
I saw that
crowdfund, we're using GameFound, which is brand new. We're figuring out what that's all about. So far, seems really cool. It's definitely geared for board games, so there's that like adaptation you got to do, but it's slick. It's got some neat stuff. So I'm happy once we go live and we can share the rest of it, because right now it's only like part of it is shared. It's gonna look really tight.
Cool.
So that's exciting stuff. Also, I've been doing all sorts of fun layout things with Ray, picking fonts and looking at formatting.
That whole tweet thread was me just like staring at fonts for like 2 hours, going like,
Yeah. So we're working on Apocalypse Keys, and that's super rad. Anywho, I play Grimhild. Grimhild uses he and she pronouns. I'm the death god of travelers and artifice. I offer opportunities and possibilities for journey, with possibilities with often great costs. I stole my brother's arm, and he's none too happy about that. But so happy that he's decided he's not even coming here tonight to do that. Jay isn't here tonight, but he may show next time. So I've been talking a lot. How about you, Ray? What's going on in your world? Who are you playing?
Yeah. So hi, I'm Ray. My pronouns are they, he, and let's see. I am playing. Wow, it's been a while. Ein Hollow, who uses they them pronouns. Ein Hollow, I'm going to admit, y'all, was just me experimenting with the really interesting Godbound system, and I thought I can connect insects and desire. Why not? So basically, Ein Hollow is the god of vengeance and also a god of death. But if someone a long time ago, personal vengeance couldn't be gained unless it was through my hand, basically. So that is what I promise those who are faithful to me. And I have at my command insects. And yeah, it is very, very cool. Very, very fun. I'm super looking forward to getting back into it and being a god with everybody else. And yeah, so how about you, Luke? What's going on with you?
I've been all right. I've been working on some game stuff, getting Grand Guignol in order, because the second edition of that's going to be coming any day now.
Delicious.
We can all have some spooky, sexy, gothic times. But today, I will be spooky but not sexy. I am playing Aldbarrow Hugh, who uses mirror pronouns, so whatever pronouns you would use for yourself, you use for them. Albarahu is the last comfort of dying men, an island, and a dragon who is a god of death.
Let's say, how can you not have sexy when you're talking about dragons?
I
Dragons are
was
just
gonna say
like
that too.
inherently
Yeah.
sexy. So
Yeah. That's why bards are the way they are, right?
Look,
Isn't that
if you want to objectify Albarahu, that's your business.
okay, fair.
Personally, I
Fair.
don't think they're a sexy dragon.
That
But
I want to respect that.
I think
I
they're
don't
like a
want to sexualize your scales.
coiling, strangling,
Oh,
kind of
I'm in that weird spot of
comforting
being a sexual person who sees someone as sexy, and I realize it's not the same as how allosexuals see it. I realize that every other day.
I had a really weird interaction with this game. Not at the table, of course, because we played once, and we spent most of the time making characters, and then we played for about a half hour, 40 minutes, and then we stopped.
Mhm.
And then I had a family emergency that led me into the hospital. Not me personally, but to support a family member. And it's really weird being in a place where you're thinking about death a lot, having just played a game about death gods with your friends, and it can't like the cool thing about gaming is, right, it really recontextualizes kind of everything, right? Like weird little things that are normal for everyone else become like a funny in joke for you, or become a sense of adventure or something. But when it's death gods, it's really weird to be like, I'm not saying I'm praying to Aldbarrow, but I'm not saying I'm not. Like, I just found myself thinking of y'all a lot in the last couple of months as I, helped, help support a family member who was going through a really tough time. And yeah, it was really weird especially in a game that I was like, I don't know, like I had to cancel 2 in a row. I don't know if we're gonna, like, inertia being what it is and gaming being what it is. I didn't know if we were ever going to play again. And so, yeah, that's my weird moment with this game. All the what I love about this damn thing is that you don't have to actually have music. I'm just like, yeah, the music is in your head. I don't have any dramatic music.
But it's intensifying.
I'm disappointed that I don't have permissions to do this.
I think.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna have to. No, it's fine. I'm just gonna have to make my own sound effect out loud. It'll be.
I mean, we could, but it'd be a whole operation.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I'll just do mine like analog stuff.
If you private chat me at any point and say like,
yeah, right,
hit it,
sound cue, sound cue.
I'll totally.
I'm about to say something awesome, Judd. I need you to back me up here.
Yeah, or we'll come up with a hand signal. So. Yeah, we are Luke. What we didn't get to what you were up to, Luke. What are you mentioned earlier that you've got a long weekend, you got some game design to do. What are you game designing?
Yeah, so I'm working on the second edition of Grand Guignol, which is a queer gothic horror game that I've been working on. And so Possum Creek Games is going to be publishing the second edition of that sometime kind of late this year, early next year. We're a little unsure at this point. So I'm finally working on the most exciting part, the rules.
Got it.
Really excited to tell everyone how tokens work for the fucking 50th time in a row.
Got it.
It's such a grueling part of it.
It'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. Jay's made it fun for me by forcing me to do it in a character voice, so it's cool.
Nice.
You also misspoke when you said Possum Creek Games. I think you meant Nebula nominated Possum Creek.
Oh yes, thank you. Nebula nominated publisher Possum Creek Games.
Yeah,
pretty amazing. I was pretty excited to see that.
Very cool.
Yeah, seeing Sword Lesbians and Wander Home both in there.
And Wander Home.
So good. Yeah,
nice.
Super happy.
Very nice.
It's very good company.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see Grand Guignol. That is fantastic. You have a lot of things in the oven there, Luke. Wow.
And a day job, which is the worst part.
Right.
I feel you. Every time I got to go back to my day job, I'm just like, the joy I get in not even making games, I just project manage making games. The joy I get in facilitating the creation of games versus the doldrums of having a day job. Ugh.
I would just like to shout out if the Australian government is watching. I love my job. Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah, I cool, awesome. Yeah, I watched a movie with my family, and I noted, and so we watched with closed caption on, and I noticed whenever the music came on, the dramatic music intensifies, and I was like, oh, that's got to be a streaming thing. Like, how am I the one to think of this? Like, why isn't this just a thing that happens all the time? So, yeah, like literally,
John, you started something very dangerous. I'm gonna Karen and I's inside joke because there was some show we watched and it just started with pounding. It was like somebody knocking on a door, but it just kept going. It was like pounding. And so now whenever Karen and I like see some stupid caption or there's a bad sound effect, we just turn to each other and go, pounding. And like I am going to add, now that you've done that, you've opened Pandora's box here. I'm going to add really, there's going to be a long list of overlays now.
Fun literacy hack that I will give you about closed caption. If you have a kid or in the house or someone who is learning to read and you want them to learn faster, put closed caption on all the time, and they will start making connections. There was like a thing in Sweden where a lot of the shows they were watching were American shows with Swedish subtitles, and they found that those kids learned to read super fast. Anyway, that's a little.
You want to know what's happening.
Little literacy hack.
I have an important question, everyone.
Let's do it. What?
So we leveled up last time.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you, Sean. Great timing. I don't know what that means or what that does. Do we get more effort now? Do we get new powers? Do our stats change? I don't know how this game works. Levels good for what?
Let's do that then. I've got it open.
Like this is a D&D. I assume levels are important somehow.
This is a D&D.
It's at least one part of a D&D. I don't think it's a full D&D. I think it's like
I think a tomb or a barrow is very like a dungeon.
Fair.
Definitely.
We begun our campaign within a dungeon that was a dragon, technically speaking.
Right. You are a dragon, so
that's it. I am a dragon. I can make myself into a dungeon. We won D&D. We did it. Good job. Everyone go home.
Wow. I ran D&D for 3 years before a dragon or a dungeon showed up at any point.
Damn, the power of it.
So, we're never going to play this damn game. So let's just speaking of that,
welcome to our podcast.
What is happening? I don't care. I just don't care. I am beyond caring. I hope y'all are.
I would posit that leveling up is probably the least interesting thing we could do together, but I would be happy to do it off stage unless there's like more cool power picking. That was fun, but I think if there's like raise this stat and get extra hit points. Like we didn't pay attention to that in the first place. I don't think a level one god is all that different than a level two god. I'm just but also characteristic of a stream with Judd and I on it, if we can spend a lot of time referencing the rules and
we're gonna get in our rule reading quote.
Yeah. I mean this is what these
let me just while Judd is looking it up, let me just give everyone a reading from my copy of Nebula Award nominated Wonder Home that I've got right next to me.
No, please don't do that. Although when I got that game first, it was on the dining room table, and Johnny and I would totally read it out loud to each other. Like it is really like, especially the character sheets, especially the playbooks. It is the only. I feel like with PBTA-ish or PBTA adjacent games, very often the playbooks aren't as strong as I would like, and that one, it's so good. It is shocking. Just really, really, literally, I can read them out loud. All right, gaining a level. You increase your attack bonus by 1. Sean, you said this was not going to be good. How dare you, sir?
Hold on. I will go through and start updating character sheets.
The maximum hit points increase by 4 plus half their Constitution modifier rounded upward. Again, Sean, you're proven wrong.
Where the fuck are our hit points? Oh, here they are.
Maximum effort and influence increase by 1.
Oh, that's important. That's important. I mean, all of it is important.
Their saving throw scores each decrease by 1 because you're trying to roll.
Oh, that's right.
Over or something. And they add a new fact related to their adventures or their deeds.
Ooh.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's
sexy.
It's not a new word, but it's a new fact.
Ooh.
All right. A brief question. Does anyone remember how we calculated our to hit bonus or stats or saving throws in the first place? Because I'm not sure if the sheet has automatically changed them for me.
I think the sheet did it automatically. When I went to level 2, it was just like, here's more hit points for you.
Oh, nice.
You're right.
So
yeah.
I think the attack. The only thing I had to change manually was the effort.
Was the attack? Yeah, because I think the hit bonus under the attacks is also like just a manual entry.
Cool.
I don't even see.
Cool. Okay. Great. And now we've got 3 effort. Okay. Out of curiosity, Judd, how do we learn new words?
That happens. Once they've made these changes, they can spend 2 more points on additional gifts from the words they know. Lesser gifts cost 1 point and greater gifts cost 2. They can also save up the points for later purchases for gaining new access to a new word for 3 points. So you get 2 points a level, and you can every 3 points get a new word if you'd like.
Right. Cool.
Does that make sense?
All right. I'm going to go have a look and see if there's any greater gifts that I can now afford.
Okay.
Are these called ability points? Are they called?
They are called.
What are these? Just trying to figure out where to store these things.
Once 2 or more. It just says points. I don't see.
Cool. That's fine. I don't need. I just saw this place that says ability points. There's also experience points, which I'm assuming we have 1,000 of, or whatever it takes to get to level 2.
Yeah.
Here's the Google Drive link.
That's cool.
Cool.
This is riveting content we're making.
Yeah. I'll just write a little note to myself that I've got 2 points and spend them at some point.
Cool.
But the important thing is that we have a fact that we did, and I think that is a great way for us to recap our pilot session. Is to give each other a fact, and we could do it. We could do it on ourselves, or we could kind of go round robin. Because I have thoughts for things that you did. I have thoughts for things that I did too, but I have proposals for facts for you both, if that's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Propose some facts. Let's do it.
So, Luke, I was most enamored or most sort of took notice of the time when you're like, you are bleeding out? No, you don't quite die yet. You just get to stay there on the verge of death, on the edge of death. And so I think something along the lines of like, I hold mankind at the edge of death.
The liminal space between death and life or something.
Yeah, that's the action that you took that I was like, whoa, damn, you're a god of death. Absolutely. And Ray, and so just to play with that, use that if you're interested, if not. And Ray, I remember how quickly people were willing to murder for you. When you were just like, I don't like this person, and they're like, do you want me to murder them for you? But interestingly, it wasn't just that they wanted to like murder in your name, but that they needed your permission to do it. So it's like this twin element. I know these are core elements to your character, but I just felt like they came through so strongly. These twin elements of desire and the authority over the revenge, not just like the ability to take, not the physical ability to take the revenge, but the authority over it. And I feel like you sort of hold the hearts and the fate of people in your hand, in your insect little claws, a little appendages. Yeah. So those are the two things that I was like, oh, that's how I remember those characters.
Oh yeah, very, very cool. Yeah. Let's see. Gosh, do we have facts for Grimhild? Because unfortunately I was away from the game when Grimhild was being really awesome. So I missed that part, unfortunately.
The thing that really stuck with me was like, Sean did a lot of cool shit with pulling a spear out of the ground and did a lot of cool shit about, like, I remember some cool teleporting between puddles. That was also pretty sick. But, like, those are like god things you did, but the like person thing you did that I thought was really cool was the way you just like immediately took on the role of like counselor to the widow of our queen's sister's wife. Yes,
something like that.
Great. I did it. 10 points to me. Yeah, I think something about like the kind of.
Can I say something like? Oh no, I was just gonna say like the way that Grimhild likes to create and fix boats. Like, is there is he compelled to fix people as well?
Yeah, no, Ray, I adore you. You're a genius. Yeah, exactly. Like the way in which like artifice and journeying and like guiding people becomes like a bigger metaphor about like a relationship with people rather than just like places. Feels like it's like poignant and rich with potential.
I'm just gonna say compelled to rebuild broken people.
Woof!
Ooh.
Wow.
We should have like a special like alternative reality session where we go to therapy.
yeah, that's the session that where Jay is here, where we come back to Nyal and we're like, no, here's all the stuff I did in the land of the living. I don't like it. It's messed up.
We don't need an alternate world thing to do therapy. Like that is not necessary. Like you could summon, I'm sure, we can make that up. That is not difficult.
If you want to add a new fact, you can just click on add fact in your character sheet and then it'll say other and you can put that fact in there. And I think we get something like +4 on roll, or we get to roll 2 dice or something like that if we're using one of our facts. So it has mechanical benefit. All right. But honestly, that's the thing that I'm interested in.
I have mine.
Cool.
It's a follow-up to my existing fact. I am the last comfort of dying men. My addendum to that is no man enters the barrow save that I will it.
Ooh.
You need my permission to die. Go fuck yourself. And I'm almost certain, unless the dragon has something really cool, I think I know what graded gift I'm taking.
Ooh.
Yeah. I remember being really excited about some gifts, so I may peruse them, but I also,
Oh, are we picking gifts? Did I miss that part?
We can, yes.
Yeah.
If you want,
Well,
you can pick one greater or 2 lesser.
Yep.
Wow. We got options.
Yep.
Cool.
I'm just excited because I can get cool dragon stuff.
Cool dragon stuff.
Yeah, and then once we're done with this, and I'm just going to talk to kind of do this.
Okay, yeah. I know what I'm taking.
We will get to the Witch Queen moot and meet the folks. Luke, what are you taking?
Yeah, so I'm taking a gift to reflect the fact that I have just written on Sean's prompting. It's called No Release. Commit effort and choose a visible target. They simply cannot die until you reclaim the effort. If reduced to 0 hit dice or hit points, they will be incapacitated for an hour before reviving with 1 hit point. If their body is destroyed or widely scattered, they will exist in a perpetual haze of blind agony until magic or restorative miracles are used to gather the corpse parts, or until the effort is reclaimed.
Wow. I feel like that was written for you.
Yeah, so this fact is literally mechanically true.
Nice.
And I think what the fact will do is it will allow you to make other roles that kind of are sideways related.
Or adjacent.
Yeah. So that is fun and fine. Love it. Love it. Sounds good. Anybody else have any powers they're looking at? Anyone want to, or is anyone going to save up for a new word later?
Yeah, I think I'll save up. So
okay, cool.
I'm cool with where Iron Hollow is right now.
Awesome. Sean, what are you thinking?
I think I'm just double checking this could never hurt the day after a dozen allies within a week.
We're a dozen allies.
Yes, I think I'm taking, just because it feels so right from the last one of like bringing forth the support from Hunda's sister's widow, Farah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Hour of Need. Commit effort for the day. Up to a dozen allies who are within a week's journey realize you need them, and they're at this time, and they will arrive this round if they are willing to come. This may include some problems of causality, but the gift's power allows for their arrival regardless. So, yeah, with a dozen people within a week's journey arrive immediately, effectively. It doesn't say they teleport. They just...
Yeah, and maybe we retroactively feel that a week ago they felt this need and they began to travel, but maybe we don't.
Love it.
Yeah. So whenever I want to be with allies, and that feels like it's the way that Farah's troops could have been brought. Her important, obviously a dozen isn't enough for an army, but it's enough for important people, etc., to be gathered. So yep. There it is.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, so I think it has been just to, we were joking a lot pre-stream about how the first game was, a pilot, and this is actually the first episode, and it didn't get picked up, and then it got, there was an online campaign and it got picked. We had a whole fantasy about this thing as a TV show, which I love. And it got picked up by Netflix, and some of the actors are a little different, but there was a grassroots campaign to make it happen, which is absolutely awesome. So yeah, I think it's been a few months, and I think you've been hearing the faint murmurs of the prayers of people as you awaken, a lot of, I think, the infrastructure and the stuff that you had all set up to get around easily, and I think a lot of that is kaput, and so it's a lot of it isn't the world that you left it, and things have moved on without you, and but you still hear, I think, prayers. I think there are prayers welcoming you back. There are prayers begging for forgiveness for seeking out other gods. There are prayers asking for forgiveness for relatives who have sought out new gods from forces on the Scaries, and I think you all know that, like, when word gets out among the islands that you are all back, I think it is tradition that there is a witch queen's moot where all of the witch queens of the various islands get together, and I think that tradition holds true, and the main island of Jale, Fgallay, has a mountain on it, and I think that mountain has a stronghold that is not used. I think it is left vacant with some goat herds are in the area who become castle servants when when there is a moot, which is fairly rarely, and it's called. I think the beacons are lit or whatever, and that there is a witch queen. The witch moot's coming. People are starting to arrive, and
I love that this
what do you all want to? What do you all want to do? Yeah, what's up, Luke?
I love that this implies that there must then be somewhere at the foot of this castle a pen where all of the goat herds can put their goats.
Yes,
while
yes,
they're playing it being served.
Yes, totally.
Oh, very good.
Good.
Goat's got a goat, man. Yeah,
Goat's got a goat. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it could be that one of you are in charge of keeping the wolves away from the goats, while the servants are. Yeah, that's totally going to be part of this adventure. Yes, that's totally a thing.
Nice.
Totally, yeah. So, what do you all want to do to prep for this? What would you want to go there first? Do you want to get there? Do you want to take your time and make an entrance? Like, what are the death gods thinking as this event approaches? Is it too vague? Should I just hard frame right into it, or do you want to kind of get a few things done here and there?
I definitely know that Grimhild is invested in Hunda. She was the one who woke us up, and she was not meant to be the witch queen. Her sister was, and so her position is probably a precarious one, and the choice to wake us up was probably maybe judged poorly.
Yeah.
And as I've taken her under my wing, under my raven wing, I really want her to succeed, and I also want that to impress Einhollow, which may or may not work, but that's the goal, is to make Einhollow think I'm super cool while I counsel Hunda. So I think I would gather her around me, as I can do. I think I would have a moment, and I can just say I did, or we can play it as a scene if it's something we're interested in. But I think I would have gathered her around me to share with her knowledge of the past that she could use when in this mood. Because she's young. She didn't strike me as being, in fact, we have her right here. Let's pull up our little picture of Hunda. She didn't strike me as being ready for this. She struck me as being someone who's like, oh crap, I did it. She did it out of desperation. She woke us up because her homeland was going to be destroyed and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I want to prepare her by sharing with her some of the knowledge of her ancestors.
Cool.
I speak for the dead, and so I think I'm going to channel some of the spirits of her ancestors to talk to.
Nice. That is awesome. Yeah, I think we can totally play that. So Sean, I'm going to ask you to kind of talk about the moment that is definitely you think relevant is a moment where there was a Witch Queen's moot, and I think Einhollow did something awesome. So set up that flashback, and then we'll flash back and get Ray into this mix with a scene back in the Golden Age, and we'll do a weird little flashback thing. This game is totally suited for that.
Absolutely. Yep, that's great.
So spend too stressed.
Yeah. So Ray, how do you the thing that you said in the very beginning about people needing permission to seek out vengeance for each other, is that a thing that you're excited about, like a flashback to that? Does that sound?
Oh yeah, that sounds super cool.
That sounds
Fuck yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I think there was a time on the islands. This is all nebulously, decades or centuries ago. It could be any time, but a time on the islands where the islands weren't able to fight with each other, and so they were sort of stockpiling against each other, and they were holding out against each other, and there were these and the islands were sort of in competition with one another. And of course, there was a love that bridged this dispute. I'm not making a Romeo and Juliet story right here at all, not at all. Where some younger members who didn't think that because they couldn't kill one another, they just had these grudges that kept building up over and over and over again. And these when one of the lovers was found and killed by their own family member who had broken the law, they came to Ein Hollow to the aggrieved one came to Ein Hollow for permission to do this, knowing that it would totally mean breaking out in war. Like knowing that it because it was an internal matter on the other island, because their uncle killed them, that was an internal matter. But if the lover went and killed the uncle, that was between the islands, and it would just be awful. And now that I have this impossible situation for you, Ray, I'd love to ask how Ein Hollow either saved or ruined the day. I mean, whatever one you think is cool. But it was a time when they're like, I need permission to go kill this person who has taken the life again without getting your permission.
Yeah.
And I wonder what did you do?
Yeah. So we flash back, and I think we see the Moot Citadel now as these servants are desperately cleaning it, right? Because it hasn't been used in centuries. And then there is an old tapestry, and when we back away and get a good view of it, we can see that it's of your family, of your Pantheon. And we go into the golden age through this tapestry, and then we come back and we see this citadel when the stones were all clean and it was well lit, and there are priests and priestesses and doctors and all kinds of people who navigate life and death. And we see Ein Hollow's temple attached to this citadel. What does that look like, Ray? What is Ein Hollow's temple? What does Ein Hollow's temple look like in the Golden Age, right? At the heyday of the Scaries.
Yeah, I think in its golden age, it had to be a place where I think it had to be made bit by bit over time. It's a temple of patience, right? Because vengeance is not something that you can go after immediately.
Yeah.
And so there are these rules in place of when you build a temple to me, it must take generations. Right. And so it's beautiful, but it's small because anyone who comes to see me can only come one at a time. Right. And so I will not see several of you. Vengeance is something that can only be taken by one person.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it is Sean, am I right? It's a witch queen who's coming to ask for vengeance, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool,
absolutely.
Cool. So the witch queen's name is Tamir, and she I think she has laid out all of the tools from her day-to-day life, right? So there's like a pen and her signet ring and her eating dagger and her sword and her shield and and all the things, all the implements that she uses for her day-to-day life that she is willing to set aside to pick up the one vengeance weapon that she will be able to use in order to do this ritual vengeance, if it is okayed by you. And I think she's like got them laid out in front of her, like as an offering, you know, on maybe a piece of cloth, and and she is she's on her knees, kind of prostrate, you know, and you know, waiting for you to acknowledge her vengeance claim, which she has, you know, handed into you.
Yeah, and I think there's like a long silence at first until like the tiles start to shift and move, and then several insects start to come out of the cracks, slowly forming, right? And before they're fully formed, I begin to speak and I say, when a witch queen is granted the path of vengeance, it is a far more difficult path, but I am sure you know this.
I know this. It is, I know, worse when a witch queen wants vengeance upon another witch queen. I know
And
this
yet,
is rare. Sorry.
I will only consider your quest just if you show me you are willing to change your face and willing to change who you are to gain vengeance. This is what I ask of you. And I lean in close, and like as I start to form together, take a wing from an insect and form a mask of 1,000 wings. And with each wing, you tell me why you deserve vengeance and not the other. Do you understand what I ask of you?
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. And she, I mean, we're not gonna sit here while she does it, but I think she starts you know, offering up these her reasoning. And I think it's also like, this is the ritual. She knew that this is what was going to happen. Like, this is a ritual that is well known. And back in this golden age, you know, people studied this shit. And I think she begins to give her reasons, and to drop wings at your feet. And then the camera moves to another part of the keep where an ancient witch queen named Sumsky, Sumsky, is dying, and her death will usher in the end of the golden age, and she's praying to Ald Barrow Hugh and asking for that end. What I think, she's alone in the dark is the other thing. It's her and Ald Barrow Hugh. You know, there's maybe like one candle lit, and she lights a piece of incense in it and like sticks it in like the foot of a little statue near her bed, to the death dragon god. Does Ald Barrow Hugh materialize, Luke? It's a stupid question. How does Ald Barrow Hugh materialize?
Yeah,
no, Judd, he doesn't. He's busy.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Do better.
I read improv to gamers.
Better things to do.
Stupid.
How does Ald Barrow Hugh materialize?
I think it's like, I think there's a long stretch where it feels like nothing has happened to her.
Yeah.
And then I think the the candle flame gutters for a moment. Like the window maybe has like just swung open a crack.
Yeah.
And then I think all of a sudden she realizes that she can't smell the incense anymore. All she can smell is like salt and brine and like seaweed, and also the smell of like wet rock.
Yeah.
And then the flame kind of like dances in the wind a particular way and like throws light around the room, and it shines off the scales, and like Aldbarrow Hugh is like fills the room, right? Like their coils are wrapped around her in her entirety.
Yeah.
She's like cradled in the coils of this enormous dragon that like stares down at her with these. God, what did I realize now? I don't think I've actually contemplated what their eyes look like.
Yeah.
I think their eyes look like ash in a fireplace. Like pale gray, but every now and then, a little flicker like shines through.
Yeah.
Like, long ago, even before they were an island, which was before they were a dragon, they were just like molten rock when the earth burned. And like someday, some long gone day, they will go back to it after they are the last comfort of the dying world.
Yeah.
But, this is not that day.
Yeah.
She stare down at this woman.
Yeah, I think she relaxes a little bit, despite the pain in her ancient body. And she says, of all the people who we sent into your tombs, I never thought about what it would be like when I summoned you for myself, old friend.
Yeah, and I think they laugh, this like soft laugh, like stones kind of cracking in half, flakes of slate breaking underfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they say, always you mortals assume that I have been summoned.
Ooh.
I have been waiting for you. Just as I wait for your children and their children and their children after.
Is it time for me to rest?
Yeah, and I think they there was like a long beat as they contemplate that question.
Mm-hmm.
Judd, is she ill or is she simply old? What is
that's a great question.
What is the state of her
health?
Yeah.
I think she's been kept alive through necromantic magics because she is so powerful and because she knows her own prophecy, which is always a shitty thing, that when she dies, this golden age of the Ulstang Skyries ends. And I don't think many other people know it. You kept it secret because you didn't want anyone to assassinate her. And maybe even like a lot of people had to die to keep it secret. And so like, she's just exhausted.
Yeah.
And
I think I hear like the echo of my my siblings and my family in my ear, right? I hear like Grimhild and God, I'm blanking on Jay's characters' names. What's our Barrow Keeper? Grimhild and Niall, right? Yeah. In accord for like the first time in their goddamn lives.
Right.
Like both insisting that like, no, the golden age must last. This woman must live. We must give her all the time we can so we can like make our maneuvers. Yeah. I think Aldbarrow Hugh like looks down at this exhausted woman in agony and despair who like has suffered what no one should have to suffer because of us.
Yeah.
And I think they say, it is time. Time to rest.
Nice. Cool. Awesome.
And I think the visual we get is just like a shadow on the wall.
Yeah.
And I think like we see Aldbarrow Hugh's shadow, and like all of a sudden they are too big. They are bigger than the room.
Yeah.
Like just their head fills the room.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think we see their jaws open, and their shadow like swallows the shadow of the woman in the bed, and the light like woof. And then there's like a beat in the darkness, and then like, you know, a servant opens the door with like a, you know, a lantern in hand or whatever to bring her, I don't know, her next meal or something. And she's just like in the bed, peaceful smile on her face, kind of bed neatly made up around her like she's been tucked in.
Yeah. Cool. We go past the servant and through the open door as we kind of hear them gasp and fall to their knees and pray to Aldbarrow Hugh to speed their lady's passing and make it peaceful, and not knowing that Aldbarrow Hugh is in the room, right? And because they can't see it. And we go down the stairs and whisk down the stairs and through the tower and through the keep and through the citadel and out onto the beach, where there's a ship being prepared to be let out, and a young woman, not a witch queen, definitely like a warrior, right, and a traveler, is talking with is with someone who I think we know through their dress is a jarl, which is like the witch, which is a witch queen's like military right hand. Mm-hmm. And she says, my mother has gone to Einhollow. It won't be long until your island and my island are in bloody conflict. We have to go. If we're going to go, we have to go. And I think there's like a little travel shrine to Grimhild, who's like the travel death god, right? And the Jarl like falls to her knees too and says, we will never make it out in time. If she's already in Einhollow's temple, she's like, she has a lot of wings to put at Einhollow's feet. It'll take her a while. We have to get out. We have to be gone from the Skerries by the time that's done. Otherwise, the vengeance could spill on us. And he goes, shouldn't we be praying to Einhollow? He says, you want to pray to Einhollow right now? We shouldn't even be saying her name, lest we get her attention. And I think like she takes she takes out like a little cone of incense and lights it in a torch and puts it at this little statue of Grimhild, at her feet. Grimhild, like what does your arrival look like as these two people pray for wanting to get away from the death that's coming? You're muted, buddy.
I think Grimhild often arrives as like one of your company. Like she just sort of like pulls back her cowl and she's been with you the whole time, right?
Nice. Nice.
She's just, we see there was another figure in the shadow that everyone assumed was just one of these people trying to flee, and Grimhild says, escaping would be wise. You might save your lives, but you'll be forgotten. All of your deeds will be undone. And I think Grimhild knows that everything's going to shit anyway, because some part of her just knows that Aldbarrow Hugh is gonna give up and let everything. You're the one that was holding the gates back for everything crashing. So I say, yeah, you could escape this, but all the legends, all the stories that are told of this great age will never feature your names. And so their price to freedom is that they're forgotten by their people. They're forgotten by history. And this is Hunda gets to be the one person that hears about it because she's seeing all of this.
Yeah.
But everyone else, this warlord and their jarl, they can flee now, but they lose all of everyone's memories of their great deeds.
Yeah. And yeah, I think the one warrior is ready to go, right? She gets up and the Jarl doesn't. And we need to name at least the Jarl, right? Because the other one is forgotten.
Yeah, right.
And I am going to name her Stavanger. I'm literally just like pulling crap off of Scary's names on Wikipedia. Stavanger stands up and says, I've worked too hard. I can't do this.
Your pride is worth more than your life. And like Grimhild, he definitely doesn't think that she should go, but he's just gotta like poke her. Like, really? You don't
I think she says, death is quick, glory is forever.
Yes. She says, as Aldbarrow Hugh says, in the holy book, as it is written on the holy stones. Aldbarrow Hugh doesn't write in fucking books. What are you talking about? As Aldbarrow Hugh has written on the holy stones, death is quick, glory is forever. And I think the Jarl stands up and they kind of kiss and embrace goodbye. And the Jarl like steps away to like let her go, and the captain who's leaving says, like, turns to Grimhild and says, I'm begging you to let her go, please.
The captain is begging me to let the Jarl go.
Yeah, to like release her from this pull of glory and being named and being remembered in history.
Yeah. And I say and this is a time when Grimhild was more callous than Grimhild is now. Grimhild now tries to fix these broken people, but back then Grimhild was like, "Fuck you! I gave you a choice. Like,
yeah.
I either one of these things is good. You can have whatever you want, your life or your glory. Like that's whichever one you want." And this is the Grimhild that present Grimhild now regrets, but back Grimhild says. She's made her choice. I give you the fleetest ship that will never be caught, and I'll give her the sharpest steel that will slay at least one enemy before their arrows take her. And I think with that, I just like pat the boat and it goes out. Like, it's not like I was just like you made your choice. No more hemming and hawing over it.
Yeah.
I tap the boat like patting the rump of a horse, and it just goes out to sea. And that's the end of their story. And I think I just want to like loop this all back around to, I feel like as that boat goes off, Ray, I wonder what the final moment is when like the 1,000th petal, the 1,000th
insect wing
has been formed into the mask.
Yeah, and I think like Iron Hollow, even though the Witch Queens know that this is the ritual, not many have been able to push through with it. And this is by design, right? Because usually halfway through the ritual, they start to falter. And so Iron Hollow is surprised that Tamir hasn't given up to this point. There was a part of Iron Hollow that was hoping vengeance wouldn't be granted.
Yeah.
And so Iron Hollow at this point is like this pale, like androgynous figure of like spider-like their rib is open, full of these like eyes of spiders, and the legs are extending. I won't go into further detail for our lovely folks who are listening. But Iron Hollow comes in close. And I think the last thing that is whispered to the wing like no one hears it. I think this whole time throughout the scenes, you could hear like Tamir's voice.
Yeah,
like each reason, but the last one is silent. Like Ein Hollow just leans in close so that Tamir just has to whisper it soundlessly. And then Ein Hollow says, when I place this mask on your face, just know that I will love you and I remember what you look like before vengeance claimed you. And like as the mask starts to put on, there's like a part where the skin starts to flutter like wings. And then it goes black.
Nice. Yeah, I think we're gonna cut to break in a second, but I think we cut back to
Hunda.
Hunda, what like in the old temple, the Ein Hollow, that was painstakingly made over centuries, and is now a ruin. And she turns to Grimhild, who is telling this story, right?
Mm-hmm.
and says, "This is where Tamir asked for her vengeance, right here." And it's just it's like I think like it's raining, and like there's rain like dripping down from the roof, and it's everything is covered in moss, and it's just a disaster.
Yeah, I think,
and I think like the tower where we saw Albaro Hugh take the ancient witch queen and end the golden age, we can see it in the background, and it's broken, right? It's like a broken tooth.
Yeah, I reached down and I pulled this rock out from underneath the moss and I dusted off, and you can see one single insect wing that has become petrified in the print of the rock.
Oh my god!
And I say, yes, this is right here, because we have long memories.
Yeah. Let's cut. I don't want to top that. Let's just cut that.
All right.
Yeah. We that's great.
Shall we do 5, something like that?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, we'll see everybody 5.